All right. And awesome talk, Ahmed, by the way. I almost forgot what I was going to talk about. Hi, everyone. My name is Katya Ogai, and I will be talking a little bit about leading a thriving, quote unquote, millennial analytics organization. And the reason I decided to throw in millennial on here is by no means to be exclusive. It's just to highlight that our newish wave of professionals is really seeking fulfillment in our work. We want to feel that it's meaningful, we're adding value, and we're having vertical and skill set career growth and development. So a little bit about myself. I'm currently director of analytics at AppFolio, supporting investment management product. Prior to that, I was at Twilio and Lending Club. And completely unrelated to the talk, I'm also featuring my COVID dog, Kodak, over here, who's starting to take over my entire life. So how did I start thinking about structuring analytics organization and just really like putting more thought to it is basically through my past experiences I have had and seen a lot of different structures and seen what works and what doesn't. I started at Lending Club and spent there 4.5 years, and I was lucky enough to support sort of like a startup organization within a larger company, and I was the first analyst on that product. So building out the infrastructure ground up, having a lot of control over what metrics and analytics looks like, and was sustainable for the scale and the size of the company at the time. And I think a lot of people might be in the same position where you might be part of a startup and you might think it's too early to be thinking about structuring a larger scale analytics organization, but I believe it's never too early to put a little bit of thought behind how you want to continue developing your org and growing it and being prepared for scale when your organization grows and you have multiple products, multiple regions. Then I went over to Twilio, which is a bit more of a complex business, multiple product lines. It's a worldwide operations business. There's a B2B and B2C funnel flow. So you can imagine there are a lot of different cross sections of how analytics can be done, depending on your region and product. And Twilio was more of a decentralized analytics organization, and I found that it was kind of difficult to balance the pressure from the business stakeholders who are more focused on optimizing for speed and visibility and putting like the latest, sexiest analytics in front of the execs and balancing with the spirit of analytics of building for scale and tackling the more foundational work like tech debt. And so with that, alluding to different types of structures out there in our current market, the centralized structure, which is what Lending Club was more like, typically looks like there are analysts that sit directly under the analytics leader, and the department had sort of put in the requests, and those requests get prioritized and handled as resourcing allows. The pros of that are definitely that this is the highest degree of control for analytics. You definitely have full visibility into the metrics and the data that's put out there, and also highest degree of technical mentorship for the analysts. But the drawbacks is that it can feel very bureaucratic from the stakeholder perspective, and for analysts, it's typically harder to build that business subject matter expertise. Next is more of the decentralized view, which is what Twilio was structured as, where each department has their own analytics support. The pros are this is the fastest output for the business and the highest level of and highest opportunity for building that subject matter expertise. But on the other hand, typically I've seen it being very siloed, both in the perspective of business cross functionality and as well as technical mentorship. Typically your boss is not someone who's very technical and is going to be able to guide you in your development of your technical skill set. And so that brings me to the third structure, which is what I favor most, and which is what I'm starting to think about as I'm gearing up to build out the analytics org within AppFolio. This is a hybrid structure where the analysts still have a formalized relationship with the analytics org, but there are dotted lines into the departments. And this provides the best of both worlds, really, the technical and business mentorship and support, but also allows the analysts to serve as an independent partner, a thought partner to the business. The one thing to really watch out here is this dual reporting structure can sometimes be a little bit confusing for the analysts, and you just have to make sure that there is a lot of proper visibility for both of your management heads and leaders. And this is definitely something that I'm still building upon. Actually, one other point that I think is important is sort of like this cross-functional focus where an analyst can have a primary department they support, but then a secondary focus where this allows for higher cross-collaboration opportunities for synergies, both technically, but also supporting the business viewpoints on how to, for example, do cross-funnel analytics. So yeah, these are just some of my thoughts on where I've arrived so far on how to structure a thriving and fulfilling organization, and be happy to chat with anyone if anyone has any further thoughts on this. Thank you.